Wow, it really feels like we're in a period of just rapid acceleration in the tech world right now, doesn't it?
It really does. So many interesting things hitting the news.
Yeah, exactly. So this deep dive, we're going to give you a really concentrated look at some of the biggest tech stories from around, let's see, April 22nd, 2025.
Right. We've sifted through the 7 Jours Tech Report.
And pulled out what we think are the most significant and honestly the most fascinating updates for you. We're covering quite a range: 5G in Morocco, AI, mobile tech stuff.
Think of it as your quick but pretty comprehensive route to staying well informed.
Absolutely. And what's really notable this week, I think, is how these different tech fields are evolving. It's not just in isolation anymore.
No, definitely not. They're starting to converge, amplify each other's impact.
So our goal here is to explore these individual things, but then also kind of see how they fit into that bigger interconnected picture.
Exactly. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's get right into it then. A really significant strategic move happening in Morocco, the upcoming launch of their 5G network.
That's right. The official rollout is scheduled for November 2025.
Oh, interesting timing.
Very deliberate, it seems, just
Right.
ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations, the Can tournament.
Ah, okay.
And this confirmation comes from a, pretty high-ranking source at the ANRT, that's the National Telecommunications Regulatory Agency. L'Economist reported it.
Okay, so that pre-tournament timing seems like a smart play. It's obviously not just about faster downloads for the fans, right?
Oh, not at all. I mean, the deployment will be phased. It'll start in the major cities.
Right? Yep.
And then expand out to rural areas, aiming for like 2030. And they have this symbolic goal of national coverage around the time of the World Cup, too. But yeah, beyond just better streaming this infrastructure, it could really revolutionize whole sectors: manufacturing, transport, agriculture, public services.
So like smart homes, smart traffic systems, digital government stuff.
Exactly. Domotics, intelligent traffic management, digital administration, all that.
And I heard this isn't just a standalone project. It's tied into something bigger.
Precisely. It's a really key part of Morocco's Digital Morocco 2030 plan.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. This national strategy, it has specific targets for connectivity. They're aiming for 25% population coverage by the end of this year.
25% already, wow.
And then a big jump to 70% by 2030. So, a strong 5G network is just fundamental to hitting those broader digital goals.
And it sounds like the main telecom operators, they're actually collaborating, not just competing.
Yes, which is quite interesting. Maroc Telecom, that's IAM, and Inwi, they've set up a strategic partnership to share infrastructure.
That makes sense for rolling it out quickly.
Definitely. Pooling resources like that is crucial.
Yeah.
And they have some ambitious projects like TowerCo. They plan to build 2,000 new towers just for 5G in the next 3 years.
3,000, okay.
And FiberCo, which is all about speeding up fiber optic connections right to people's homes.
So the launch is set for November, but I guess there are still some hurdles to clear. Big project like this.
Oh, for sure. The report mentions that, crucial technical testing and sorting out the frequency allocation.
Right, the actual radio waves.
Exactly. Those are key challenges the operators need to nail in the coming months. Got to make sure it all works properly, no interference.
It really sounds like Morocco is setting itself up for a pretty major digital leap. This isn't just a small upgrade.
No, it feels like a foundational shift in their tech capabilities.
Right.
That's the core thing here. 5G in Morocco, it's moving from just an idea and ambition to something real and happening soon.
The potential seems huge.
Yeah, for innovation, competitiveness. And that pre-Can launch, it's not just about the event itself. It's a signal, right?
So
Well, by having this advanced infrastructure ready for a big international event, Morocco basically says, look, we're a tech-forward nation, could attract investment, boost their global image.
that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's switch gears completely now. Let's talk AI, artificial intelligence.
Always a hot topic.
It feels like it's creeping into parts of our lives we don't even always notice, like finding something to watch on TV.
Well, yeah. And what's fascinating is how different places are starting to use generative AI. The AI that can actually create new stuff.
Right.
So Netflix, for example, they're testing using generative AI right now to help you find movies and shows better.
Oh, really? How's that work?
It's being piloted in Australia and New Zealand using OpenAI tech. The idea is to refine how you discover content.
So maybe less endless scrolling through rows of stuff I'm not interested in.
That seems to be the goal. Netflix pointed out that their biggest hits, the really popular stuff, that's actually less than 1% of all the viewing time.
Wow, less than 1%.
Yeah. So this AI is meant to give you a more dynamic, more personalized search, help you find things you might actually like but would otherwise miss.
That could be useful.
And they also mentioned a redesigned TV app coming in 2025, so this AI thing seems part of a bigger UI refresh.
Interesting. Does that change what gets made, though?
Well, that's the interesting question, isn't it? If AI recommendations drive viewing, does that start to influence the kinds of shows and movies that get greenlit? It's that balance between, algorithmic popularity and maybe promoting stuff that's more niche or experimental.
Yeah, something to watch. Now, sticking with AI, but on a, shall we say, more controversial note, this student who built an AI for cheating.
Yes, this story, it's definitely thought-provoking. Chungin Lee, 21-year-old student, created an AI tool designed, well, pretty bluntly, to help cheat on exams, job interviews, basically anything.
And he got funding for this.
Reportedly, yes.
Yeah.
A pretty staggering $5.3 million for a startup, Cluely.
5.3 million. Wow. Despite the, let's call it, ethically ambiguous nature of the product.
Exactly. It's sparking a lot of debate, as you can imagine. Subsequently, Lee was apparently suspended from Columbia University after a video showing off the tool went viral.
I bet it did.
And it kind of highlights this bigger shift, maybe, in how tech meets education and work. Tools like this could really challenge how we assess things, right? What does it even mean to know something anymore?
So how does this cheat on everything AI actually work? Is it like feeding you answers?
The report describes it as delivering real-time answers through, like, an invisible browser overlay. So, yeah, imagine taking a test or doing an interview, and this thing is just discreetly popping up the answers for you.
Okay, that's a bit unsettling.
Hi.
What's the company Cluely saying about the obvious pushback?
Well, they're apparently defending it, comparing it to calculators or Google search.
Seriously, calculators.
Yep. Arguing it's just another tool for accessing information, which, really throws open the question of fairness and integrity when machines can give you instant answers.
It really does. Wow. Okay, so from AI helping find a show to AI maybe changing how we learn, its reach is just expanding like crazy. Let's move to something maybe a bit more tangible. Our phones. Mobile tech.
Absolutely. And let's start with something kind of cool for anyone with tons of old digital photos. Google Photos.
Yeah. What are they doing?
They're rolling out an update that applies their Ultra HDR effect to older pictures.
Yeah.
Even ones that weren't taken with Ultra HDR in the first place.
Oh, that's great. Like making old photos pop a bit more. How does it work?
Yeah, basically. Ultra high dynamic range. It came in with Android 14. It just expands the range of light and color, makes photos look more realistic, more vibrant.
Nice.
So this new feature just applies that processing retroactively. It's replacing the old HDR effect option they had. And it's a server-side update.
Meaning I don't have to do anything. It just happens.
Exactly. It should just appear in your app eventually without you needing to update it manually.
Love that. Zero effort required.
Okay, another mobile thing mentioned was bypass charging. What's that about?
Ah, yes. This is really handy for mobile gamers or, well, anyone who uses their phone while it's plugged in for a long time.
Like me, probably too often. Yeah. So bypass charging, it's on some Android phones, Samsung, Pixel, Asus, Sony, have it on certain models. It lets the phone draw power directly from the charger, skipping the battery entirely.
Oh, okay. So it's not constantly charging the battery while you're using it plugged in.
Precisely. Think of it like plugging your laptop straight into the wall, instead of letting it charge and run off the battery simultaneously. It reduces wear and tear on the battery.
Because that constant charging cycle isn't great long term.
Right. It can degrade the battery's capacity over time. How you turn it on varies a bit. Samsung often puts it in their Game Booster settings. Google tucks it into optimized charging. And their Whispers One Plus might add it too.
That makes a ton of sense, actually. Good for battery health. Now, speaking of phones, there's some buzz about the next iPhone, the iPhone 17. Sounds like maybe some production issues.
That's the rumor, yeah. The iPhone 17, expected around September, might face some supply shortages before it even launches.
Oh, why's that?
It seems to be down to an issue with getting enough of a specific type of fiberglass. It's a material with a low thermal expansion coefficient.
Okay, technical term there. Why is that important?
It means it doesn't expand or shrink much when it gets hot or cold. That stability is apparently really important for dissipating heat effectively away from the phone's guts.
Ah, heat management. Got it. So it helps stop the phone from overheating and keeps things running smoothly. Where did this rumor come from?
Reports in Chinese media initially. And apparently it's enough of a concern that even Tim Cook is reportedly aware of it within Apple.
Not ideal timing for them.
Definitely not. Apple has pretty high hopes for this next generation, especially with that rumored super thin iPhone 17 Air model, plus a big iOS 19 redesign expected in June. A supply problem at launch would really mess with their plans.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, staying in the app world for a second. Instagram is also using AI, but for something very different, right? Something about safety.
Yes, exactly. Instagram is rolling out AI to try and identify underage users who are pretending to be adults on the platform.
Even if they lied about their birthday when signing up.
Apparently so. The system was tested first in the US. The goal is to automatically switch those profiles over to what they call teen accounts.
Okay, that sounds like a really important safety measure. What do teen accounts do differently?
Well, they automatically apply stricter safety settings, give more oversight options, basically offering better protection for younger users from things like harmful content or unwanted interactions.
Makes sense.
The report does acknowledge the tech isn't perfect. There might be misclassifications, but they say there will be a way for users to appeal if they get wrongly flagged.
Okay, good. It's definitely encouraging to see platforms trying to tackle that age verification challenge more proactively. Right, let's shift focus again. Digital well-being, another really important area, and there's an interesting initiative back in Morocco.
Indeed. The High Authority for Audiovisual Communication, HACA, they've launched something pretty innovative to raise awareness about digital violence.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It's a free educational comic book.
A comic book, that's cool.
Yeah. It's available in Arabic and French, and they're working on an Amaziah version too. It's designed to be engaging but also educational.
That's a really creative way to reach people, especially younger audiences, I guess.
Absolutely. Everyone from kids right up to adults. The whole thing was led by Nargis Rerhe, who heads up HACA's Regulation and Digital Media Group.
And what kind of digital violence does it actually cover?
It features these little mini-stories showing everyday people dealing with different kinds of online abuse. Things like body shaming, cyberbullying, online sexual harassment. The stuff that's often kind of invisible but can be really harmful.
Yeah, definitely.
The report mentioned examples like a teenager struggling with negative body image because of comments or a young singer facing loads of hateful messages online. Real-life scenarios.
So it shows the problem, but does it offer any help?
Yes, exactly. That's the other key part. At the end of the comic, it provides useful resources. It tells you how to report abuse to the DGSN, the General Directorate of National Security.
That's crucial.
Totally. It's this really neat integration of art and awareness. Makes it a powerful tool for civic education, turning abstract warnings into stories people can relate to. Hamza Tamu did the illustrations, apparently key to making it work.
That's a fantastic initiative, using creativity for something so important. Okay, let's try and wrap up on a positive note. We need some good news this week.
Sounds good. And our dose of digital good news also comes from Maroc Telecom, actually.
Oh yeah, what have they done now?
They just announced free speed upgrades for their fiber optic customers. Started April 20th.
Free speed upgrades, you love to hear it. How much faster are we talking?
Well, they're doubling the speeds for a lot of people. If you were on 100 megabits per second, you're getting bumped up to 200.
Nice.
And if you were already on 200 megabits per second, you're jumping all the way up to 1 gigabits per second.
Wow, a full gig. That's a massive increase. How did people find out?
They send out SMS messages.
Okay.
And the best bit, no action needed from the customer, no extra cost. It just happens.
That's excellent customer service. What's the thinking behind this big upgrade?
Well, it's part of their bigger strategy, right? Strengthening their high-speed services. This kind of upgrade obviously makes a big difference for streaming, gaming, remote work. Just makes everything smoother and faster.
Yeah, huge difference.
And they're also throwing in unlimited calls to national landlines and some hours for mobile calls, too.
So a pretty sweet deal for their customers. Is this kind of doubling common for them?
Apparently not. The report says it's the first speed doubling they've done since way back in 2017.
Oh, wow. So it's quite significant.
Yeah, and it comes pretty soon after that partnership with INWI we talked about earlier. Seems like they're really pushing to improve digital infrastructure in Morocco. Definitely feels like a big step towards more digitization there.
Well, that is a fantastic bit of good news to end on. So just to recap this deep dive, we've hit on quite a lot. Morocco's big 5G plans.
Right, the timing, the strategy behind it.
Then the whole world of AI, from Netflix trying to help you find shows to that more controversial cheating tool.
And the ethical questions that raises.
We looked at mobile updates like Google Photos, improving old pics, bypass charging for battery health, potential iPhone snags.
And Instagram's AI for protecting younger users.
And finally, those important digital well-being efforts, like that really creative comic book initiative in Morocco, plus the good news on fiber speeds.
Absolutely. It's just a snapshot, really, of how fast everything is changing in tech right now. Lots of surprising stuff, big shifts happening.
So as you're kind of digesting all this, here's something to think about. With connectivity like 5G booming and AI getting smarter and more integrated, especially when you layer on big national plans like Digital Morocco 2030 and efforts to tackle online harms, how is all this going to reshape our daily lives, our societies, maybe sooner than we think?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, how all these different technological threads and social trends are starting to weave together. Definitely something to keep an eye on.